Hi everyone, we're back down here with the Fuji bike, and I thought I would show you the mechanisms that I've made, although I've done a series on those, but someone asked a bit more about the bike, to know a bit more about that. I've got some kind of magazines that I've found across the years. I do not know a lot about them, but it'd be good to just show you what I do have, and then people can comment and fill in extras if they have them. But I thought I'd show you the mechanism and the driver and the rider and how she's kind of gone on so far. Give you a little demonstration of the mechanism that I made, although it's a little scary to operate. So here the rider is mounted, and I showed the mechanism on here, but the body really is just this, I'd say it was like the old dolls, you know, that kind of squishy material. She has separate arms up here, and if I bring up this is a 3D printed copy, basically. This is fantastic. Michael helped me with this one. This is all his work. I'm not sure where he got this from, but I got some printed and paid for this, and I was building the mechanisms. The mechanism is installed in her. You can see my mechanism installed in her. But the quality, I've never seen a quality like this on 3D printing. This is absolutely fantastic. So I was keen to get a couple of those. Again, I'll try and, I'll go onto the boots in a minute, but I'll try and probably replicate this a bit more. But so she's mounted like this, and what happens when the mechanism essentially moves from side to side like this is it tilts her body side to side. I can't see that being very effective because it's she's quite lightweight up here actually, and say that's not really much of a shift of weight compared to the bike. I'll weigh the bike in a minute, but anyway, that's how it works. Let's push her back there. So they're not very robust. You can see the screws kind of pinning in. I've just put some copper wire on here and just twisted it on the inside to keep the arms in place. So and then the legs, really, I've just pinned that on there for now, but you know, not very stable. She did come with some shorts, but they don't fit. This must be off another kind of 1/4 scale model back in the day. Okay, let's grab one of these and give you a little demonstration. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to make sure that little servo bit's central. Let's plug that in like that. Now, the kind of scary bit about this is that when you move that servo arm, there's nothing really stopping this from rotating all the way round and kind of bottoming out here and really stressing it. So that's not my design, that's just in the kind of in the original, in the copy of the original here. It's not very clever to, you know, like there's a cut off or a stop or anything, but essentially all we do is we twist like that and make sure we come back to middle. It's not so I have these 3 magazines. I'm going to pull you in closer. There we go. So starting with the oldest, this here, I think this is model technology, and the date on it, November 1972. So these are, from what I understand, the first radio controlled nitro or gas or fuel bike, whatever you want to call it, that was essentially made. And originally it came out in Japan, and from this magazine you'd see that it's got this date on it here, and the page inside, I'll knock the page and I'll show you. In here it shows the bike and basically says about an event. It says about in October, so the timing's out, but I'd say this was the demonstration of the original bike, which would lead me to believe that following that, that's November 72, but maybe early 1973 for a release of this bike. I think here it says, will you run the bike, from what I remember translating, because it describes it as quite an elegant and flashy bike. So there we go. I'll pause there if anybody wants to run their phone over to translate it. And I think it mentions about having a meeting. So that would be in the 72, 73. That's how old these bikes are. So which is why they're quite rare. And then you got this, I'm not sure if you call it Robbie or Roby, a mini catalogue. It's got kind of all the old stuff in here, the dash, but I've actually got one of these as well. But here's the catalogue advert for this Quarter 19 bike. So something obviously translated over to this, I believe, a German company, and this model started being produced over there. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. Get a pause there, let you look at it. And that's the advert that I've seen in this little manual, and I can't really date this. Oh, camera. I can't really date this. I'm not an expert on this, on the dash, etc. I'll show you a bit more just if anybody can get boats. Okay. There's the map. There's the back. And then I was just scouting around Japan, eBay and all this sort of stuff, and I regularly go in to check, see if I can find more details or more collectors on these bikes. And I came across this magazine, and it says it was published in 2020. I believe that's around when I actually found and bought this. It's got some Tamiya on the back, and really just some old collections. Some of them you'll recognise. These are the modern ones, obviously, the re-releases. I'll give that a quick flick through. Old pictures, old motors. But going on to, I'd like one of these. These look fantastic. I've never seen one of those for sale. Definitely love one of those. Here we go. The Fuji Quarter 19 in a Japanese magazine demonstrating old bikes. That's a really nice example of that, really nice. I'll go to the other page, give you a view of that. Some other text. This one up here says 1973. So there we go. That is really all I do know. I know a few collectors out there, some with a few models, but it's pretty much a rarity to come across, and it's a pleasure to talk to anybody when I do come in contact with them, and they have a bike, and obviously they maybe they're restoring it or whatever. But that's all I have on that. But there's what I have. There's my magazines. That's not my only bike, but the other one's in pieces. I've done an early video of it stripping it down, and kind of cleaned up the gearbox, but I've not progressed anymore. I am planning to make one just like this. I've already got the black chassis, but there we go. Until the next video on these, which will probably be a while because I'm going to move on to some other projects, but that's the Fuji Quarter 19 and what I know and what I have on them. Thanks for watching.